Standing here at Ferry Creek at the site of the potential logging operation. As you can see, portion of this forest has already been logged, and protesters stand at the sides of the roads and tent and get food and supplies from outside sources so they can keep their stand. There's a lot of teepees, a lot of obstructions to get in the way of logging trucks' way, a lot of protest art. Since the injunction's been served, the protesters haven't really budged, and more people on social media have gained access and have seen traction, and we'll be interviewing Yogi Shamu in a bit to understand the situation here a little bit better. So what does this forest mean to you, and why are you here?
I'm Forrest Tate. Kind of a huge, broad question that I'm from Alberta. I've been on the island for a couple of years. And so one of the things I think that I've noticed with being in, we're standing in what is quite a disturbed forest scene where logging has occurred. And yet it's exactly where we're supposed to be in this moment. But I'm here for as long as I'm needed until the RCMP take me off.
All right, so what's your name?
My name's Shauna Knight.
And yours?
And mine's Shambu.
Cool. And who do you guys represent?
We're just a group of regular old folks representing community, and we roll with the Rainforest Flying Squad.
Yeah, we are people that are attempting to pause the saw so that people can have a conversation about old growth logging.
And so what's the situation going on here?
Basically, we're down to the last 2.7% of ancient coastal temperate rainforests here on Vancouver Island, and yeah, we're all taking this last stand, like Shambu said, to pause the saw. Really, we need to have these discussions. We need to have proper consultations. We need to get sustainable second growth plans in place before we lose it all. We can take examples and advice from other countries who've been logging for 500 years and have nothing. We still have a chance in Canada here. We haven't been logging for that long, so we do still have some of these last stands left, and that's what we're doing here, to draw attention to that and get people to become involved.
If the forest, when logging does happen, what happens to a forest?
The forest really does change from one ecosystem where the majority of the actual biomass is actually mycelium and what is going on underneath the ground, and then and it completely changes from a wilderness to a tree farm to something where there's in fact it's usually has very few species. Things are crowded together. The sunlight penetrates the canopy very differently between an old growth, a second and third growth forest.
And I think one question is are you guys against logging as well, or is there any sustainable type of logging?
We are pro-logger, but we are also pro-old growth. Right. So, yeah, we're calling for a sustainable second growth plan. We all understand here that wood is necessary, timber is necessary, lumber is necessary. We use those things. So if we want to keep benefiting from the resources we have here, we need to strategize and come up with a better plan.
And with the injunction that was served just last week, what plans have been in place to kind of prepare for that?
Is to stand and be overtly covert, in as much as we are engaging in challenging the injunction, but we're attempting to do that with dignity and continue to stand and draw attention. Bring people out into the woods as much as possible so they can decide for themselves if what is going on is what they feel comfortable with. And so we're attempting to bring people out while also still attempting to stand and hold our lines as necessary.
And so you, I know that you are the organizer of the GoFundMe as well. What does the GoFundMe, what is the money going towards, essentially?
It is going to, help to keep the camps going, and also for legal fees as well. The majority of this situation is actually just volunteer run, but still it does take it takes money to hold the infrastructure together and to be able to facilitate people standing up. So primarily the money is going to legal considerations.
So have anyone been arrested yet?
The RCMP hasn't been here yet. The injunction has been served, so that means they can come and enforce that at their leisure. We don't know when to expect that. We've been waiting for 8 months for somebody to notice and somebody come talk to us. So we hope John Horgan comes out. We hope he'll come out here and talk to us and explain himself a little bit. And he made some promises, and we're holding him to those. We want those recommendations of the Old Growth Strategic Review panel's report there to be put into action. And we need to protect these trees with some legislation because there's not very many of them left.
This being his riding, are you shocked that he hasn't really commented on the situation?
Yes and no. We are shocked from a moral standpoint from it just doesn't make sense, but it does make sense that things would want to be kept secret. If you're not fully proud of the action that is going on, then you will want to keep people away from the action for as long as possible, allow it to carry on, and then you would actually want to discourage those people from having conversation. And so with things going on so much right now within people's lives, it's very easy just to kick the can further down the road. And so, but now we're calling it to a crisis point because it is the crisis point. And it is actually the last few years where we can actually turn this around.
And have you gotten any comments from the Pachidat Nation on the blockades or anything like that?
We have some community support. Some Pichida members definitely are curious about what's happening in their territory. I don't think they feel well informed, and they've been to the blockades, and they're obviously very supportive of what we're doing here. Band Council itself has not commented, but as I understand, them being an elected council, just like our NDP government, it sort of works the same way, may not necessarily represent the views of a community.
One more thing, because I've heard some interesting stories while I've been here for a couple hours now. Most of which were, there's some cool ways that arborists have been tying themselves to trees, and other myths of people essentially blockading if something were to happen. Are there any other ways that people are getting creative to kind of stand with these old growth trees?
Well, it is literally the Moulin Rouge.
We're coming.
It is literally the Moulin Rouge of civil disobedience. You never know what's going to come through the velvet curtain next. And so people are getting creative because this is the last stand. And so everyone from every part of society, we have people, 80-year-olds coming with oxygen tents, saying, I would like to be arrested if I have to make a point for the last stand. And you have hundreds of people coming in front of us with all ages, all types, and all ideas. So but just watch out for the circus performers, because when they make a protest, exist. It really is amazing.
They're tough to spot too. Thank you so much. Oh, yeah.
Well, there are also, I should mention, there are also many people in the industry, in the logging industry, who we've built relationships with and communications with over this last 8 months of this protest, who don't disagree with what we're doing. They see these natural resources as profit, but as time goes by, you know, they start seeing things a little bit differently, and it hurts to cut down those big trees. I've had conversations with loggers who feel bad, you know, their conscience is playing on them. And so we do have support in all sects and all walks of life. People are coming out here and, yeah, willing to throw down in whatever peaceful, civil resistance that they can. Yeah.
Well, thank you so much for taking the time, guys. Have a good day.
Thank you.